Supernatural is probably the best show CW has ever created. The story revolves around a couple of brothers and their friendly angel battling forces beyond their comprehension. Although this show was declining in popularity, it managed to survive an impressive 15 seasons. Granted, there were times when the show stumbled and fell, but thanks to the charisma of the protagonists and the endless flow they had at their disposal, they managed to garner a significantly large audience. But let's not get sidetracked here, because I'm here to talk about the finale of season 15. Although an unorthodox way to end a long-running series it may be, but thanks to the creativity of the writers and the impressive performance of the actors made it work. Now, without further ado, let's talk about the finale itself. So allow me to provide a bit of context and a slight summary of the 15th season. Dean, Sam and Castiel finds out that their lives and everything they ever did was nothing but entertainment for the malevolent god Chuck. This Lovecraftian reveal throws our protagonists into an existential crisis. Filled with hatred and insecurity, they try to rebel against Chuck, only to find out that even their pathetic attempts to rebel against God is part of his plan. This feeling of helplessness forces them to join with a group of rather unsavory entities, such as the embodiment of death, the incomprehensible empty, and the revived son of Lucifer, Jack. Jack, who was like a son to our heroes, decide to do whatever they say, desperate for their approval. Blinded by his hatred towards Chuck, Dean agrees with death and makes Jack overload with power, hoping to catch Chuck off guard and murder him. But to their surprise, Chuck reveals that even that was only part of his plan and leaves them to die. And then death sends Jack to the vast empty, where he expels all his power and infuriates the eldritch monstrosity. And afterwards, Castiel sacrifices himself to save Dean and bring back Jack. Angered by their inability to give up, Chuck snaps everyone in the world other than the brothers and Jack out of existence. This act of surreal madness discourages the brothers, but even at their lowest point they still do everything they can and finds out a quote-unquote spell to kill God. This surprises Chuck and gets his attention. After he arrives on Earth, they execute their desperate attempts at deicide. Unimpressed by their plan, Chuck tortures them till they decide to give up. But to his surprise, they start laughing and reveal their actual plan.
All that prep work we did to turn Jack here into a cosmic bomb? Well, it turned him into sort of a power vacuum. He's been sucking up bits of power all over the place. So when the two heavyweights, your boys, showed up to duke it out, I charged them right up. And you beat the crap out of us, releasing all kinds of power. God power.
Jack absorbed it all. It made him
unstoppable.
After Jack absorbs God's powers, Chuck congratulates the brothers and the new God and claims that a death by the hands of the heroes who outsmarted God is a great honor. But Sam and Dean ignores him and walks away after saying that he is pathetic.
It's the ending where you grow old, you get sick, and you just die.
and no one cares, and no one remembers you. You're just forgotten.
Even though this concludes the battle of the heroes and gods, the conclusion of their story is yet to come. After saving the world, probably for the millionth time, the brothers decide to go back to their small-scale monster hunting business. But during their first hunt, after defeating God, Dean dies due to carelessness. This most definitely confused and angered the fans of the series, but I disagree. After they defeated God and put him into a helpless position, the brothers are no longer God's chosen heroes. Thus their divine protection no longer exists. So in a world where God does not interfere, no one is special. This is why Dean dies and Sam grows old and joins Dean after his death. Now I understand that some fans might be
disappointed!
But in a narrative sense, this is a remarkable way to end this magnificent series. Allow me to elaborate. In the 11th episode of the season, Dean and Sam comes to the understanding that Chuck took away his divine protection. This makes them super vulnerable, so they decide to get the divine protection from the pagan gods. Now this raises the question, if the pagan gods are the ones granting Sam and Dean their protection, why would Chuck losing his power affect the brothers?
People won't need to pray to me or to sacrifice to me. They just need to know that I'm already a part of them and to trust in that. I won't be hands-on.
Jack attempts to be a fair and distant god. This took away the divine powers of all heroes and probably destroyed the pagan gods as well. This is because, according to Jack, the only ones people should have faith in are themselves. Perhaps you are disappointed, or maybe you disagree. Why don't you tell me in the comments? And don't forget to like and subscribe.